Hey, this is Mike Renoir, Northwest Fight Scene, NWFightScene.com. I'm here with UFC fighter Mike Chiesa, the Maverick man. How are you doing today?
Doing good, a little hectic, you know. Right now I'm just balancing being a fighter and a promoter out here at J-Lau Casino. But yeah, it's going good.
This J-Lau Casino, Excite Fight. Your coach Rick Little's usually putting it on, but he's over in China with Elizabeth Phillips cornering her for the UFC. So you're kind of the substitute promoter. What's it been like?
It's been crazy, man. I've been a fighter, I've been a coach, been a lot of things. One thing I haven't been in this sport is a promoter. I can definitely see a lot of the stresses that promoters out there dealing with the fighters and the hotels and just kind of everything that goes along with the process. But I'm just kind of soaking it all up, and someday maybe I'll be promoting a show of my own, and it's being a team player. Elizabeth Phillips is fighting in China. Rick's got to be there for her. If I didn't have my fight, I'd probably be there with her and he'd be here. But the roles are reversed, and I don't mind it. It's all good.
Right on. Now let's get right into your fight. You're fighting UFC Fight Night 50 in Foxwoods, Connecticut, September the 6th. Is that right? 5th. That's
yep.
right. 5th. And you're fighting Joe Lauzon. Obviously, tough opponent. You've seen him before. He's a known entity. Talk about that fight.
I'm excited. Of all the fights I've had in the UFC through the Ultimate Fighter and up to this point, this is the least amount of pressure I've ever felt. You know what I mean? It's like every fight I put a lot of pressure on myself. When I'm fighting in Seattle, I got to beat Masvidal. I'm in Seattle. If I'm fighting Colt Smith, I can't lose to another tough winner. I'm fighting Francisco Trinaldo. I can't lose to this guy that's really tough because nobody knows who he is. You know what I mean? Like every single fight, there's some kind of pressure I end up putting on myself, and I get the call from Lauzon. I'm like, there's no pressure. The guy's got a name. He's super tough. Just go out there and perform, and you're going to reap the rewards of this fight. So I'm really excited. Not only am I excited that it's my first guy with like a big name, but I match up really well with him. A lot of people that aren't hardcore MMA guys, they think I'm kind of outgunned, but the people that know me and the people that have trained with me, and even some of the guys that I've fought before that I've talked to, they're like, dude, this is a really good matchup for you. So I'm very confident. I've never felt more confident coming into a fight. I've been training my butt off. I'm going to show up on September 5th and I'm going to win. I've never been more confident in my life.
Right on. Now, Lauzon, he's had 5 fight-at-a nights, 6 submissions of a night. He's no joke. You just had a submission of a night, your second to last fight. How do you see the fight going?
I just think it's going to be a tough scrap. You know what I mean? Joe and I fight very similar. He's a submission grappler. Same thing with me. Stylistically, we're both very similar. We both like to come forward. It's going to be that stereotypical, it's going to be when the unmovable object meets that unstoppable force. Boom, we're going to clash in the middle. We're going to take the center. We're going to fight. But, I don't see him outpacing me. I don't see him beating me. I don't see him being in better shape than me. I feel like I'm where he was when he got in the UFC. He came on the scene, knocked out Jens Pulver, and was just ripping through guys. And now I feel like I'm in his position back when he was young. I'm the guy that's hungry, that's coming up, that's fighting a veteran. You know what I mean? So I love the position I'm in, and there's a lot I could say about how I feel like this fight's going to play out, but then I'm going to give away part of my game plan, and I don't want to spoil it for you guys. I'm really excited to get out there and put on a good show for the fans, and I know I'm going to come away with the win.
Right on. Now, was this a fight that you looked for, or just the name popped up?
It just popped up. Usually I have a really good relationship with Joe Silva, so usually when Joe calls me, he's like, how do you feel about this guy, maybe this guy, maybe this guy? And, usually I call him and be like, how about this date? We usually it's like we usually throw a few dates, a few guys, and then we just kind of meet in the middle. And he called me and was like, how do you feel about Joe Lauzon on September 5th? I'm like, done. You know what I mean? Don't gotta ask me twice. But, and later on I found out that from a few little inside sources that Joe Silva, the fight's an hour and a half from Joe's hometown. So they called him and they're like, gave him a list of names, and he chose me. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I kind of feel like he called me out, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like he called me out because it's an easy matchup. He talked about it in an interview, like, he wants to fight me because I'm an Ultimate Fighter champ, and he wants to hold it down for his season of the Ultimate Fighter, and I can respect that, man. It's a pride thing. When these guys go through the Ultimate Fighter, you want to hold it down for all your guys that were there. It's not even just your team. It's just, you know, when I go out there and fight a guy that was on Tough, I want to hold it down for the 15 guys I lived with in that house. I got to hold it down for Tough Live, you know what I mean? He wants to do the same thing for Tough Season 5. That was the season he competed on, so, you know, I can respect his decision to want to fight me. I can respect why he called me out, but ultimately, I got to make him realize that he made a mistake when he steps in the cage with me.
Awesome, awesome. Now, you fought back in May. Trinaldo, unanimous decision win for you. And this is the first, I think, pro fight that you've had that's gone the distance. Is that right?
Yeah. Take that back.
Second pro fight.
Yeah.
But first UFC fight that's gone the distance. Talk about that. 15 minutes being in there, grinding out that win.
It's good. It's a learning process. You can't get used to going out and finishing guys every time. I learned that the most important lesson I learned in the UFC so far was when I fought Masvidal. I hit that guy with everything but the kitchen sink. I caught him in one of my best subs I got, and he got away from it, and I went, oh crap. Now how do I win? You know what I mean? And I wilted. And I have no shame in saying that. Mentally, I failed. You know what I mean? So going into that fight with Trinaldo, if you watch the fight, I had a 10-8 first round. I mean, I freaking pounded on the guy, and credit to him. He's showed a lot of resiliency. I wasn't able to finish him, and it's good to get that 15 minutes, and I really had to gut it out. I remember sitting on the stool before round 3, and my coach, Rick Little's like, hey, I want you to go out there and just push a sick pace on him. He's tired. I'll try. I didn't have anything left, you know what I mean? But it's good. It's good to get that feeling, get out there, fight a hard fight. He had me in a couple submissions. I had him in some trouble. That fight had a lot of waves, so it was just a good learning experience, and I feel like it was meant to be. I feel like that was a good fight to have right before I fight Lozon, because there's a good chance this could go the distance. So, and the other thing I learned is I'm in way better shape than I was for the Trinaldo fight. So if I got to put Joe through 3-10-8 rounds, I'm in shape to do it, man. I'm really ready to go out there and do everything I say I'm going to do and prove to everybody that I'm backing up everything I'm saying. Took this fight very seriously, always constantly improving. I'm just excited, man.
Awesome. Now, just talk about the training. Rick Little, he's a guy that brings up guys and puts them in the UFC. You, Cecilia, Juliana Pena, now Elizabeth Phillips, over there in Spokane. You got a tough group of guys that are around you. Talk about working with Rick and who you've been working with for this particular fight.
I just stayed at home. My last fight against Trinaldo, I went down to Vegas for 5 weeks. I needed southpaws, needed some kickboxers. Trinaldo, he was a 3-time national champ kickboxer, so I needed to go compete with some kickboxers. And, when this fight came up, I want to beat this guy from home. I don't, there's nothing against leaving to go to training camps. You got to do what you have to do to win. I mean, you got to compete, you got to win, you got to make sacrifices, but I want to beat this guy from home. I'm very proud of where I'm from. I've had all my success through my career, training in Spokane, training here in Washington in the Northwest. So I stayed at home. I trained with my team, and the secret to what Rick's doing is he's just everybody that he's brought up into the UFC. We have a close relationship with him, and he not only does he understand us and our strengths and weaknesses as fighters, but he knows who we are as individuals. And it's kind of hard to say. He's just kind of a Jedi, you know what I mean? He's a Jedi. He knows how to make us feel confident in our skills and confident in ourselves without desensitizing us, you know what I mean? He'll look me straight in my face and be like, you're gonna have a tough 3-round war, but then he'll be like, he'll make you get your confidence from what he's saying. So Rick's just a Jedi, dude. There's something about the way he does things and the way we train. It's kind of weird how everything's just kind of fallen into place, you know what I mean? It all started with Beer Bomb, and then it trickled down to Mackenzie, and then it's trickled down to me and Sam, and then it trickled down to Julie and Elizabeth, and now we got a whole stable of up-and-coming talent that we're trickling it on down to them, and we're just building a solid team. I mean, it's a very family-oriented environment. I think that's like the secret to a lot of our success.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate your time, Mike. You know, obviously you have sponsors for this fight coming up. Who do you got to give a shout out to?
You know, my biggest shout out to give is to my teammates. Everybody at Sick Jitsu, everybody at GTX Cross Training. You know, CJ's been, you know, he's brought me up from being a fighter to an athlete. I couldn't be any more thankful to have him be a part of my career. Chauncey Welliver at BoxFit, helping me work my hands, making people see that I'm evolved. Got to thank Harley Davidson. Got to thank the UFC, Dana White, Lorenzo Fertitta, Joe Silva, everybody. I mean, my family, the big man upstairs. I mean, I could go on and on. I'm just very thankful for everybody that's had a positive impact in my life, and just everybody that supported me and had faith in me from day one. You know, I'm very grateful, and you know, I'm a very selfless person. I like to get out there and perform for everybody else. For my own wants and needs, I'm very satisfied with where I'm at, but I want to keep giving people a reason to gather around their TV and come together and support some people, you know what I mean? I just really enjoy what I do, and I really enjoy having a good support group.
Awesome. Well, I, again, appreciate your time. We look forward to fight with Lozon, September 5th, Fox Sports Connecticut. It's the main card. Oh, yeah. Now, is it on Fox Sports 1?
It'll be on Fox Sports 1 on the main card. I think we're like the third to last fight. And it's on a Friday, so September 5th, it's on a Friday.
So no excuse to miss it.
Yeah, so a little Friday night fight. I'm going to get out there and put on the show. And September 6th, I will be back home in Spokane and ready to have a beer for the first time in 3 months.
You heard it here. Mike Chiesa with Northwest Fight Team. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys.